So for today's topic of Spiritual Chat Sunday, I'll be sharing 13 signs that you are going through a spiritual awakening. So many people have doubts or questions. What does it feel like to be experiencing a spiritual awakening? And what are the common signs and symptoms to sort of know that you're going through a spiritual awakening? So before I head into the topic, Namo Adesh, my name is Garret. My mission as a life coach and a law of attraction coach is to help people realize their infinite potential by tapping into spirituality, the law of attraction, and feng shui. I'm very blessed to be trained under a Himalayan yogi who's taught me the ways of the yogic teachings as well as spirituality, which is the whole umbrella of life. So before I head into all the 13 points, let me just give you a quick understanding of spiritual awakening. Okay? So spiritual awakening, right, basically means that you are actually you awaken your third eye here. Okay, so many people has awakened their third eye. Some of them, they awaken it unknowingly through meditation. So constant meditations and focusing on one point, especially when you focus on the third eye point and you keep meditating at it, then you will activate the third eye chakra. So in one of the meridian points, the main 7 chakras, third eye is the one that actually helps you to go into dimensions out and also receive energies in. Okay, so the third eye basically kickstarts the process of spiritual awakening from the first density all the way up to third density. Okay, so when the fourth density or the fifth density actually starts, that's where you go into Kundalini awakening. So the Kundalini invoking would actually start the process when you work higher up to the chakras. So I will cover that in another video next time down the road. However, I would like to just give you an understanding of what spiritual awakening is gonna be, okay, in the next 13 points that you're about to hear. Okay, so straight away, point number 1. So point number 1, you will have an intensified perception. Okay, so what does it mean? So now, once your third eye is awakened, you're more subtle to all. You're more able to receive detail. You're more detailed, okay, detail oriented. You're able to perceive. You're more sensitive to subtle energies around you. You see, you're more sensitive to light, especially when your third eye is just awakened. You're very sensitive to sounds and noise and smells. Okay, all the 5 senses all gets very stronger and heightened. Okay. So you become very sensitive to all these subtle energies. Okay, so point number 2, increase intuition. Okay, so what does it feel to feel increased intuition? So your gut feeling, there's a strong sense that whenever you do certain things, you feel like you feel a strong pull, a strong connection that people are telling you this, you should be doing this, but you somehow feel that I don't feel right about it, but you can't explain where is this feeling coming from. It's coming from the gut or where is it from the heart? You can't explain it. So there's a heightened sense of intuition between right or wrong, and you can see through a lot of things, whether a person is trying to lie or trying to cheat or trying to tell you, oh, I'm happy, but actually he's deep down they are very sad or they're going through certain emotional problems. So that's second point. So third point, increase presentness. Okay, so basically you learn to live in the now. You're not so concerned about the past experiences anymore. You are no longer worried about the future as well. So you focus on living in the present state, which is now. Okay, nowism. Okay, you no longer are hindered by your past memories. However, you take your past memories as a learning journey that leads you to the present state. Okay, so point number 4, awareness of spiritual energies. As what we know in most of my previous videos, everything has energies and holds energies. Okay, so when it comes down to energies, is vibrations and frequencies. So your heightened state of perception, you're allowed to feel the awareness of energies around us, especially spiritual energies. So you feel everybody's emotions. You become more empathic. You are more able to sense whether a person is upset, whether or not he or she is smiling or even speaking. You can sense it from afar. So these are some of the experiences of experiencing heightened sense of spiritual energies. Okay, and whether or not an item or an object, whether it's so-called it holds any negative energies or not, whether or not it's got any negative entities lying on that object, you would be able to sense it as well, because it holds vibrations. So whether or not you're able to whether or not you should avoid that item or you should keep that item, you'll be able to feel it. Okay, so point number 5, you feel aliveness, harmony and connectedness, basically oneness with everything and everyone. Okay, so basically you're no longer as hateful, or you're no longer as you no longer blame so many things or so many other external factors. Okay, so you know that you're able to sort of connect with everything, every being, even nature itself. So every tree, even down to the pieces of rocks, so all the stones and leaf, everything around you, you feel alive to be connected with all these things. Okay, point number 6, the willingness to love, give without expecting back. So in service of others. So basically one of the topics that I mentioned in one of my TikTok videos. Yeah, in service of others. Because why? When you're open, when you've reached spiritual awakening, once it moves up to your chakras, once you reach the 4th density, whereby the heart chakra starts to open up, your level of light and love will come up to the heart. So when the heart chakra opens up, your compassion is more. You've got more openness to love, and that's where you share your love by contributing to the world. Okay, that's where harmony and connectedness starts to show up in your life. Okay, so point number 7, you need inner quietness. Okay, and you are always experiencing inner quietness. Okay, you are much more calmer and composed. So whenever there's a lot of chaos all around you, whenever people are throwing negativity around you, you are much more calmer. Okay, you no longer snap as before. You no longer get into a negative state immediately. You react slower as compared to your previous state, okay, before awakening. So that already shows that you are going through a spiritual awakening. Okay, so point number 8, you are changing your sleep patterns. Why do I say changing sleep patterns? There's a lot of hours whereby there's spiritual timings, okay? Spiritual hours whereby energies are strong, frequencies are strong, vibrations are strong. Usually between 3 to 4 or 3 to 5 a.m. this period of time. So certain people who are just fresh or new to spiritual awakening, they are waking up naturally without any symptom, without not even going to the toilet. Sometimes you will just wake up out of no reason at certain hours, mostly between 3 to 5 a.m. That's where you are experiencing a spiritual energy. Okay, it's trying to communicate with you. Okay, be it God, source, or any high energy beings trying to communicate with you. So that's one of the signs that shows that your sleep patterns are being altered, and you find that most of the time you struggle to get to sleep during that night. Okay, so one of the altering sleeping patterns. Okay, so point number 9, after your chakras move out slowly to spiritual awakening, once it reaches 4th density, when it's connection to the heart chakra, that's where you start to feel a deep sadness of or compassion about the suffering in the world. Okay, so many would refer this stage as dark night of the soul during the spiritual awakening. Okay, so when you say most people going through a spiritual awakening process, they feel they are more subtle to energies around us, so you are able to feel harmony with everything and everyone. Okay, however, they are also more susceptible to energies around them. So if you see animals or you see people that are suffering due to sickness, due to poor health, or due to negative emotions, you sort of feel it because you are more empathic, right? And your compassion kicks in. That's why you feel like there's injustice in the world, and you feel like there's a strong need for you to contribute to the world and to step in so that these people or these items or animals, they don't suffer anymore. Okay, so that's point number 9. Point number 10, the need to make a world a better place. So as mentioned, as connects to the point number 9. So you feel like you need to bring an impact to the world. Why? Because you feel all this injustice all around you, and you feel like you need to wake up all the people around you. There's a constant need to be a guru, okay? Because you feel that these people are wasting their time, they are trapped in this illusion, and you feel like you need to wake them up, and there's a sense of urgency within you that there's not enough time for you to wake everyone up. So there's a need for you to impact the world, whatever, how big, no matter how big or how small your action is, you are taking towards is trying to make a better impact in the world. Okay, so point 11, increase inspiration and creativity. So no matter what sector or whatever working sector that you are currently in, so be it whether you're in IT, or be it whether you're in the most boring job like maybe, I don't know, like a librarian or an accountant, you may have certain heightened creativity aspects in whatever you're doing right now. So it may be suddenly you may want to pick up drawing, okay, you may suddenly want to pick up music, singing, or you may want to pick up something that's within the creative realms. You see, you like to express a little bit more. So with all these heightened images and downloads, certain times when your chakras increase and it goes up, right? Once it reaches third eye, that's where you're able to receive downloads from high energy beings. Sometimes things just comes in naturally. You may see visions, you may hear sounds that you may not normally hear, and you are more susceptible to all these energies and vibrations. That's where you got heightened sense of creativity come out of nowhere. Okay, and this creativity may help you actually make it, I would say they will help you materialize, okay, and help you earn in a specific sector. So certain things, especially when you're sick and tired of this job that you're currently in, perhaps the heightened sense of creativity might find you change your career path. Okay, so point number 12, a heightened sense of mortality. Okay, so basically you're becoming more ethical, more responsible, and all-encompassing kind of feeling. Why do I say that? So perhaps maybe before awakening, your level of integrity maybe not so high, but once you're going through spiritual awakening, you no longer view things as right or wrong. There's such thing as a gray area, and this gray area sometimes may take over you. You see, you may no longer see it as like I want to be right all the time, or I don't think I'm wrong all the time. There's a certain gray area, and you know that there's flexibility in between these norms, and certain things and by taking certain values, you're able to tweak the whole situation in order to make it dim your right vision or the right values that you do. Okay, so as long as you don't see anybody suffering, or you don't see maybe in order to avoid sufferings or quarrels or arguments, you lie. So you lie, maybe you do a white lie. Okay, so previously maybe you because of integrity, you feel like lying is bad and it's wrong. You see, so after awakening, you feel like just by lying, maybe you can turn the situation around. You can make sure people change for the better. That's where integrity no longer matters. You see? Okay? So point 13, appreciation of oneself and living in gratitude. Okay? So of course, when you're a little bit more susceptible to energies, you're more subtle, you become more empathic, and you're starting to receive all these spiritual gifts. Okay? That's where you start to appreciate life, and you're more able to view yourself, your life, from an observer standpoint. You're no longer just being the person experiencing everything. You're pulling yourself apart from you. You're being the observer of life. Okay? You then able to start to see all this around you. Okay? Which means when you start to see yourself experiencing all these things around you. You no longer complain about the things that you don't have. Instead, you tend to be more grateful of all the things that is happening around you, all the experiences that you are receiving. Then you become more grateful, and when you become more grateful, you receive more, and your experiences of life become full. Okay, so I hope I've shared these 13 points that may have answered some of your questions. So if you learned something in this video, please make sure to hit like, subscribe, and comment your learnings in the comment section below. And also, it'll be nice to know where you're tuning in from. So yeah, please make sure to hit like and subscribe. Okay, with that I end my video off. Namo Ades.